I'd say that's 99% of the people do not have a clue how far they can take their business. I think that is, to me, the mark of a good coach is to find somebody's inner strength, what they're really great at doing, find that creative element that makes them stand out against other people, and then help them with the structure of the business that it will take to take it to where it can go.
So why should an interior designer hire a business coach? Do interior designers limit their own success? How do I find the perfect interior design business coach? Do interior designers make better interior design business coaches? What can a good interior design business coach actually do for me? What separates a great business coach from an average business coach? These are just some of the many questions I asked interior design business coach Gail Doby during our interview. Welcome to the Interior Designer Podcast, where we bring real-world business education to interior designers.
Why should an interior design business owner hire a business coach in the first place?
Well, it depends on if you've ever had business experience before. But what I found is most interior designers don't have a business background. They don't have a degree. And they have never really run a business before. The reason they got into business, in most cases, is because they're great at design. But that doesn't make you a great business owner. And that's about 90% of what you need to be doing is running a successful business. So if you could learn that part of it, the design is only 10%. So to me, these days, I do believe that one of the biggest things that people need is the shortcuts, because if you don't have experience running a business, you need help. You really do.
Let's discuss ideal client avatars.
So do you have a specific avatar for the type of designer that you like to work with?
That's a great question. And I would answer that with 3 avatars. We have 3. We have people that are over $1 million in revenue. These people are already running a successful business and they want to take it to another level. They want to break through. Most people get stuck at a certain point and they need assistance to do that. And we also find a lot of people at that level do not have the financial background. And that's one of the areas that happens to be my area of expertise is finance. So I can help people with budgeting and understanding how to set up their financial model so they're making the most money possible. Our second avatar is for people who are about $250,000 in revenue to $1 million. And these people are emerging design firms. And in this case, they're just trying to figure out, how do I get all the systems and processes in place? What do I need to do? Who do I need to hire? How do I need to run my business? So that would be our second group. And then our third is the group that is, they have enough design skills that they have people that want to hire them, but they probably don't have employees, or if they do, it's a bookkeeper that's part-time and maybe a part-time person that's doing maybe an internship or just design assisting. So people at this stage, that's a different level for us. So we have programs for all 3.
Would you say that those 3 different levels are also tied to years of experience, level of experience, or do you find some people who've been doing it for years and years, but they really just don't have that business side locked down?
I'd say it's both. I actually have a young woman who's a client of mine right now out in LA that will probably, I would say that this year she'll do 300,000. Next year will be 3 million. So she literally will take that kind of a leap. So she's way ahead of the game. And that's not usual. There are people like that, but very typically we have people who stay the same. They have whatever their level of success is. That's what they're used to. And if they don't change their behavior and the things that they're doing in their business, they're not going to change their financial results. So we have those as well. And then, of course, we have the others that are ready and eager to break through, get to that next level. They're the ones that are coachable and want to learn and want to take their business to a level of professionalism that you almost can't do by yourself.
Don't underestimate yourself.
Okay. Kind of a weird question maybe, But
Sure.
I mean, everyone starts out a business. They think, it's going to grow into something big and amazing, and well, I assume they think that it's going to turn into something fantastic. But have you ever found a situation where maybe you start working with someone and you realize that that maybe what their expectations of what their business could be are limited, and that maybe through your coaching you help them see that it could be something bigger, better, more amazing, something that they can pass down to family and their kids, and it becomes something truly amazing?
I'd say that's 99% of the people do not have a clue how far they can take their business. I think that is, to me, the mark of a good coach is to find somebody's inner strength, what they're really great at doing, find that creative element that makes them stand out against other people, and then help them with the structure of the business that it will take to take it to where it can go. So, for example, I worked with one company and they were roughly about $1 million when we started, and they're well over 20 million now. And we've had other companies. We have one that started with us in 2018. They were $1.5 million, and they'll do 8 million this year. I have another client that when she started, she was at $1 million, and that was about 10 years ago. And her goal is to be a $50 million a year business. So she was one that had moments of complete bursting into tears. I can't do this. I'm really not able to build this to what I think I could do. I'm scared. And then she decided to go for it. So it really depends. And I think what's really cool about being a coach is seeing somebody's true gift and helping them see it as well.
Coaches, masterminds, and mentors, which is best for your biz?
So it's not just business coaches out there that designers can turn to for advice. There's mastermind groups, Facebook groups, mentors, designers who maybe have got more experience. Why should a designer look to hire a coach rather than go one of those other routes?
Well, I would say that it depends on what someone is looking for. So, for example, in our programs, we believe that you need coaching as well as training, as well as a mastermind group. That really is the perfect solution for most people. And there are some people that I have some private clients that come to me and they'll come and do a VIP day and they'll do private coaching with me. But I don't take very many of those people anymore because we've found that our programs overall deliver everything they need. So to me, most people will find that if they have a broad variety of experiences that they can have, and they can know peers that are on that same path with them, they will accomplish a lot just by knowing other peers that are doing the same thing.
Where you are now with your offerings, I'm wondering, is that something that when you started out, that was the plan all along, or have you changed your approach obviously?
Well, I think a lot of it is because there is an evolution of learning. When I got into this industry, I was coming straight out of running an interior design business, and a successful one, but it was very fast-paced and hectic. And I really wanted to use more of my business skills because that's really something that I enjoyed the most. So for me, we started out, we did not have a clear path to exactly where we are today. And I would say the last 3 years have been a bigger evolution for us. We have been doing masterminds for quite a while, probably since 2015, maybe. And since 2015, that has been something that we've built into our programs. So it's aligned with our coaching as well. And that gives people the one-on-one, and it also gives the group experience. And we're able to bring in speakers and all sorts of specialists that can talk to our clients. So to me, it really does, I think it goes down to the fact that we do need to listen to our clients, and they're going to tell us what they need. And that's how we developed our programs.
Should interior designers become business coaches?
how much of your personal experience as a designer and as a design business owner inputs your work as a coach now, at this point, now that you've been coaching for all these years too?
It's definitely still there. A lot of the things that I learned back in the time that I was running my interior design business, I use those to teach. And I can tell you that some of the best teaching moments that I give, in fact, I just finished a new keynote speech, and a lot of it is centered around the mistakes I made in my design business. And the things that I learned from that, I've taken those into an opportunity to teach people what not to do. And to me, that's as valuable as what to do. So if you can avoid some of the big pitfalls, then that's great. So if you have somebody who's been in the industry and has failed miserably at some things, that's actually a good thing.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, in a past life, I ran 2 different fitness businesses, one in real life and one virtual online. And learning from mistakes was key. By the end of it, I realized I knew so much more than when I started out. And yet when I started out, I thought I knew everything. Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people, and I was one of those, when I was running my design business, I was looking for solutions and I didn't find them. I didn't find the right coaching for me during the time when I was looking for it. And so that was one of the reasons that I set up the coaching program that we have now, is because I didn't get what I needed from other people. And I was always willing to learn. So I said, okay, if this is the case, I learned the hard way. I can teach people what not to do. I can also teach them what to do. And that really was the genesis of what we're doing. I think it is the best way to learn is from somebody who's been in the trenches in the industry doing exactly what you're doing.
What can a good interior design business coach actually do for me?
But also I've had a lot of conversations with designers who, when I've suggested coaching to them, they're not sure what a coach can actually help them with, right? Like the nuts and bolts. Now we can just say it's going to be the business side of the business. You're not there to critique their design skills.
No.
But could you give us an idea of say the first 6 months that you work with a designer, what kind of business things are you going to help them with?
Well, for example, in our alliance program in our boardroom, that's the 250 to $1 million and $1 million plus. The people that come into that program start with a 3-day VIP experience, and we take them through what we call a creative value blueprint, which is a 150-page manual that it has taken me years to put together. And we teach people everything from the very beginning, the vision, the values, all of the things they need to know to set up a great culture for their business. We also talk about marketing and hiring employees and interviewing people so that you get the right people on the team, setting up your processes. What are the processes you need within your business? And we take them all the way through time management and how to manage their time the best so they can get the most out of their days. And I think the most important thing that we share with them at the very end, we tie it up in a nice bow. And then I spend 2 hours, we go through their personal financials and their budget, and we can set goals for what they want to achieve financially. And then we show them how to build a financial model. And we give them a 3-year financial model that we work on together in 2 hours. And it's really amazing because that sets the strategy for their business and helps them understand exactly how they're going to get to the goal that they have.
Well, so obviously that's taken a while to put together. Just that document itself is not something you did in your first year of business, I'm assuming.
No. Well, I've been at this over 15 years. So yeah. We started doing coaching back in 2010. And so the coaching program started there. In 2012, I started my first VIP day. I've done hundreds of them now. And we have continued to refine and hone it and make it better and better and better and provide the tools that people need. And people literally will pull. Today, I was talking to a coaching client and he pulled his manual off of his shelf and he said, here it is. I go back
that's
and look at
hilarious.
this frequently because it's such a great resource for them.
When you started,
Mhm.
were there many other people doing coaching for designers?
There was one other firm I had gone to, and I will leave the name out, but I had gone to
Sure.
events for maybe about a year and a half. And I thought, it's not answering the questions that I have. And then I got into the business, and there might have been a few others. And now, of course, there are probably 30 or so people that are out
Yeah.
there coaching. And it's okay. People will find the right person for them. We are probably up at the top level of cost for most people. And so for people to come to work with us, we know what we're looking for and who we can serve the best. And
Right.
they are going to get a result if they're willing to do the work. But we've worked hard to find just all the pieces and parts and how to put it together and teach people the basic root of business so that they can be successful without us at some point.
Yeah. At some point they graduate, but they keep
Yes.
they keep the manual.
They all graduate at some point. Yes.
Yeah.
They keep the manual, and we have most of our people are with us 7 to 10 years.
Business coaching for solo and small team interior designers.
The industry as a whole, specifically the residential side of the design business, is like overwhelmingly dominated by females and by micro-sized businesses, meaning say 5 employees or fewer.
Right.
Does that type of business impact your coaching and how you deal with people? And is it kind of a monolith? You run into the same kind of personalities and business structures or lack of business structures?
That's a really wonderful question. At each level of business, and I would say the 1 to 4 is a typical small size business, micro business, as you're referring to. And that person or that company can get up to about $1 million in revenue with 4 people. If you're talking super small, maybe it's 1 or 2 people or a couple of part-time people. That's what would be up to the $250,000 level. And each of those levels has different challenges and problems. So we have what we call a client journey, and we know what people need to accomplish to go from one stage to the next. And then our third level, when they're $1 million plus, they're building a team. They are ready for or probably already have a leadership team. And if they don't, we help them create a leadership team and understand how to bring those right people into the company, because hiring and training and building that company, building the processes, doing all the things that are necessary, it just takes time. And each of those types of companies, they have different challenges at each of those stages. So we have to treat each level separately and help them work through the level changes so that they can make it to the next one.
But you would definitely see similar issues at those different levels, right? Okay.
Most
so we're not
definitely,
like talking.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
What makes a great interior design business coach?
Can you speak to what the difference between a fantastic business coach and a average or not so good business coach? What makes a good business coach?
That is a great question. First of all, you have to have a connection with the person that you're coaching with. And you have to make sure that somebody is going to listen to you well and they understand your particular issues. Your issues may be the same as 20 other designers, but as far as you're concerned, that coach needs to pay attention to you and help you, because your issues, your mindset can be the biggest problem in the way for you. And so a great business coach understands that the mindset is probably a huge part of the game. And then the structure, and also I would say all of the basic business foundational skills that someone needs to run a business are fairly similar. And as you go further and further, for example, you get up to the $1 million plus or you're 5 million plus, you're at a different level. especially in the 2.5 to 5 to 10 million, you have a PR agency, you have a digital agency that's working with you on social media, you have somebody that's helping you with HR, and you might even have somebody who's helping you hire and then train your people. So you have all sorts of different needs at a high level when you're at that upper level versus somebody who's starting out and just trying to get enough business to have a sustainable business and make a decent income. So somebody that understands all these different levels and can speak to those different levels and help someone through each of those steps. And then you have the tools and the things that people need for each of those steps. And that's one of the things that I've really focused on since I've been in business. And this is an area of creativity I didn't know I had, but I create all sorts of tools. And that's one of the things I love to do. So I'll create these really great and complex dashboards and things that will help people with budgeting. And we have a budgeting tool that we give away for free, which is amazing. And it helps people know how to budget for their projects and stay in budget. So to me, somebody who is a great coach is constantly learning too. They are always one step ahead of their clients, and they're watching what's happening in the trends of the industry and what needs to change and shift. And so that coach is a leader. They're out there thinking about the next problems that need to be solved. And then also just being really good at helping people stay on task and be accountable for the decisions they need to make. And I'd say the final piece is being a great cheerleader, because people struggle and they struggle with business, and that's okay. They just need help. They need support. They need love and attention. And a great coach will do all of that.
No name business coaches versus big brand business coaches.
So since I've started doing these interviews, I've been talking to a ton of different business coaches and looking into them and looking at their socials and looking at their websites and what they offer. And there are two parts to the puzzle for me is the brand. Some coaches have like a fantastic brand on social and they're everywhere. And it looks like some of them, their businesses look like it matches, like it makes sense why they're so popular. And for some of the other ones, I see a disconnect, and it makes me wonder if they're just really good at marketing themselves, and maybe the coaching part of it isn't as strong. And the other part of it is coaching business that are fantastically successful. I mean, part of your success, I'm sure, is due to the fact that you've been doing it so long, and your name is just big now as a result. So what I'm wondering is, if you're a designer looking to hire a coach, how much does the name of the person matter in making that decision? Is it something that really you should kind of ignore, or it does matter? And when you look at their business, what their website looks like, what you see they're offering, maybe go look, have they been on 1 million podcasts? Have they written tons of articles? How much should that play in making that kind of decision to take a leap and saying, yes, I want to work with you?
Sure. Well, I think this is a visual industry, so people are going to make decisions based on the visuals they're seeing. That's part of it. We can't help it. We're designers and we love beautiful design. And you'll probably have noticed we came out with a new brand last October, and we worked hard at that to find the right brand that represented who we are and what we really deliver. But the looks are great. The name is fine, but what matters are the results. And if the coach does not have significant results, I'd be really questioning whether that's the right coach for me. So look for that. And I know that one of your questions to me when you were sending me the document was, what about the people that have coaching teams? And I have a coaching team, but I also have requirements for our coaching team. Our clients are our coaches. They've been through the program, probably most of them 5 or 7 years. They've been through at least 3 years in boardroom before they can even be a coach. And so they understand our program, they understand what we teach, and so they're able to carry that on in the tradition that we teach. And so that's kind of important too. So a coaching team is one thing, but somebody who's been through the program and believes in the program and wants to come back and teach it, that to me says a lot about whether that coach knows what they're doing.
Big thanks to Gail Doby for joining us on the podcast. If you're an interior designer looking to improve their business, today's podcast was loaded with actionable advice from Gail. If you like what you heard, please give us a like and hit the subscribe button. If you don't like what you heard, feel free to tear me apart in the comments. Just kidding, my feelings get hurt easily. Thanks for checking out the Interior Designer Podcast. Real world business education for interior designers.